morning, welcome to the Cranky Fisherman. My name's Lee and today we are currently doing a 24-hour session over at Norton Fishing Lakes. Well, technically the 24 hours started last night, but by the time I got everything all set up it had already got dark, so I didn't bother doing this part of the recording last night. So like I said, my name's Lee. I'm 25 years old and I've only been fishing properly for the last 3 years. And I love the sport, really. There's nothing really more I can say about my feelings towards it. But yeah, it was me old man who primarily got me into the fishing. But if it wasn't for me going during the first lockdown back in 2020, I think it was, wasn't it? He wouldn't be able to persuade me to stay for the extra time. So yeah, like I said, I've been fishing for the last 3 years, and in those last 3 years I have had a phenomenal time fishing. So my current PB carp is £27 on the nose. My PB Wells catfish is just over £40. My PB roach, which I don't know why I'm happy about it, is £3. My PB tench is £1. PB bream is £10.4. And I think that's it. Yeah, that's it, PB wise. So I'm not just a carp fisherman or a predator fisherman. I'm an all species fisherman. I like to go out and catch whatever I can. So I still need to rebait the rods that are out now, but before that I just wanted to tell you how I got to the fishing and how I stayed fishing. So as we all know, COVID struck back in 2019, and then in 2020 we went into a lockdown. I didn't mind being a lockdown to begin with because I'm a bedroom shut-in as it is. You know, I like to sit there and play video games all day. But it got to the point where even me myself, I needed to get out. I couldn't be at home for much longer. And having the few health conditions that I've got, staying indoors for that period of time was doing more harm than good. So when the government announced that we could go fishing again and you could meet someone from your support bubble, me and my older brother, we snapped at that opportunity. So he went out and he brought his own rod and reel off the internet, and I just asked my dad if I can borrow his for a little while. And we just started fishing a small fishing pond. Can't really call it a lake because it was tiny, but the stock was immense. It had a stupid amount of fish in there. Sorry, carp. You can take the bait. No? Cool. So yeah, when we first started fishing at the Heath, it was a case of we weren't planning on staying fishing permanently, you know. It was a case of we'll do it for a few months until we can actually go out and do our normal stuff. So with him, he liked to, well, he used to go out for walks with his missus and his kid. With me, I'm a motorcyclist, so I like to go out and ride motorcycles. So obviously I couldn't do that because we weren't allowed to travel more than, what was it, 5 miles from your house. So thankfully, the pond where me and him were fishing was literally, well, about a mile from where he lived and about 3.5 miles from where I lived, so it was nothing really. God, it's still there. But yeah, so it was a case that we didn't buy the boilies or anything, you know. We just got the hooks, you know, and we just made small rigs out of monofilament line, and then the hook straight to the line. You know, we didn't do no hair rig, you know, nothing fancy. It was a case of just, right, hook straight to the line, and then, you know, out it goes with a bit of bread. We didn't even use corn, we just used bread. And yeah, we were catching, and we was like, okay, maybe it's because, you know, you get dog walkers who come down with their kids who feed the ducks. But then after a while, it slowed down a lot with the catching. So we went for something different. We were just like, you know what, we'll make some hair rigs. So made hair rigs, and then we decided to change up the way that we presented the bread. So we just balled them. Just balled them up. Some of them, we done some small ones, then we done some, like, you know, some bigger ones. But we weren't using like any loose fit. It was just the bread on the hook, on the hair. That was all we were putting out there. And again, that worked. My brother had a decent sized fish when I was sitting there catching all the small ones. And then, yeah, we finally decided that we were going to start buying boilies. So I think the first ones I ever brought was the Crafty Catcher strawberry creams, and my brother, he tended to favourite the fishy one, so he went with the salty tuna. And I don't think we actually blanked for about 2 to 3 weeks. We caught what, 4 to 5 carp a day, which I know people will go, it's not good, but it's not bad either. Which, don't get me wrong, for me back then it was phenomenal. You know, you're new into the fishing scene and you're doing that kind of fishing, you know, every day for a few weeks. And then my dad suggested to me and my brother that we go night fishing with him somewhere. So we all looked for a place that my dad hasn't been before, you know, so we're all new to it, and we found a lake called Horsted Fishing Lakes, which is local to the Suffolk area. It's on the way down to Sudbury. And yeah, we all blanked. We all blanked, but we had a lot of fun. So my brother, I think, if I remember rightly, he took one of my dad's spare bivvies and an air mattress. I was like, okay, air mattress, that's a bit too much lap of luxury right there. You enjoy that. Mate, it was a case of, well, you know what, I'm going to do it. I'm going to invest in it. So I went down to our local tackle shop, which to us is Tackle Up. And they are some of the most loveliest people I've ever met when it comes to fishing. And this is where I got this. This is the TFG Banshee. And, well, like I said, it's almost 3 years old and it's perfect. You know, condensation builds a little bit, not a lot. But it's, you know, it's nothing that you can't deal with. But bed chair wise, the bed chairs that they had were a little bit out of my price range. So it's a case that we just borrowed one of my mum's like garden lounge chairs, and I sort of broke it. So literally got all the bivvy up, got the rods out, and then finished, you know, putting everything inside the bivvy. Finally put the bed in there, and I may have sat down on it a little bit too hard, and the bottom of the chair actually just went through. So yeah, as you can imagine, my mother wasn't very pleased with me. But it is what it is, you know. It's just, I think she was just happy that we got out of the house, you know, we're out of her hair. So yeah, that's a little bit of a backstory on me. You know, throughout the next few videos, I'll, you know, give you guys a little bit more information about myself. But for now, I just want to talk to you a little bit about Norton. So Norton is it's like a multi-species lake. So there is Welsh catfish in here, but he's been asked to remove them. So when they get caught, we put them in a keep net, and then he, you know, gives them away to other lakes who are allowed them. And then obviously we've got the carp. The big main lake, the lake I'm on now, has a very, very high head of roach, which thankfully, shouldn't say thankfully, but the cats are keeping them, you know, sort of at bay. And then over on the second lake, which is a little bit smaller than this one, he's got a couple of tench. There's cats in there, there's carp in there. So there's not a massive array of species, but there's enough, you know, to keep everyone of all sorts happy. You can keep match fishermen happy, carp fishermen happy, predator fishing happy. So yeah, that is one of the things I like about it. It caters to everyone really. But so as far as I'm aware, the biggest carp that's in the main lake right now is a 38-pound common named Charlie. And from what I've been told, there's a little swirl pattern of scales on his side where he's been, you know, where they've just been damaged and rehealed. So that's the way that we can identify that one. My current PB is, like I said, the 27-pound mirror, which come from this lake, but in between these set of islands that are on here. And yeah, it was one of those ones where at first I didn't think it was a big carp. Okay, it come in really easy. Then as it got closer to the bank, it was kind of like, that's a big shadow. That's a very big shadow. And then all of a sudden, as I got it to the top, it then started to fight like mad. I ended up playing that carp for about 20 minutes. It just had so much go in it. And from what I saw, from the way that its mouth looked, I was probably one of only 2 people to ever catch this carp. So as you can imagine, that was a very happy moment for me, you know, catching a fish that not a lot of people do catch. But yeah, then from what I've heard, there is a potential pike in here still. Now, I've never seen one here in person, but when I went through Norton's Facebook page, I did find a picture back from 2008 of a guy who caught a pike on a pop-up. So he was just retrieving the pop-up, and then all of a sudden he just had to take. The pike took it as he was retrieving it. So, but right, I need to get these rods rebaited and recast out, so I'm going to do that, and then hopefully I'll speak to you guys soon when we've got a fish on the bank. Right. Right guys, finally got one during the day. Lovely little common carp. Isn't she a stunner? Few little damages to her. That's alright, we'll get them touched up. We'll get her back out. On to the next one. Just got the first one back and we're into another. Okay, so here's number 2, caught of the day. Literally 5 seconds after putting the one back from my right hand, my left hand rod has then gone off. And this one is truly amazing. There she is, a lovely mirror. She's got some proper old battle wounds, she's been in some fights before. Just need to clean up where my hook placement was. We'll get her weighed up, then we'll get her back. Let's get this lovely girl home. Gotta let her recover a little bit. And she's raring to go already. Oh, and she got out. She's gone. Oh no, she's still down there. Yep, she's gone. I've got half an hour left, so I'm about to start packing up all my gear, get ready to leave. I'm going to leave the rods out until the last minute, but I'm going to end the video here now. Hopefully I shall see you guys in the next video, where I will be down my syndicate lake and I may have one of my close friends fishing with me. But until then, see you later.